All right, so let's talk about places where you can go and buy watches. And the first place that I want to start out with you guys is a place that I know some of you guys don't want to go to because of, stigma, people seeing you going there. You've had maybe a low points in your life and had to go there in order to get money. Yes, I'm talking about a pawn shop. Many people don't want to go to a pawn shop because in the past, myself included, I've had times in my life where I really was desperate and I had to go pawn something that I owned in order to get some money to take care of something that I really needed to take care of. And so a pawn shop is actually a good place to go to find watches that won't break the bank, and you can find a great deal. Now, pawn shops, all kinds of different levels of watches you can find at pawn shops. And in addition to that, at pawn shops, depending on where you go, you can find people that actually have expertise in used watches at some places. But you'll have to, of course, for where you live at, do your own diligence, your own due diligence, and your own research in order to make sure that you're not getting scammed, because you want to make sure that you are, getting what you're paying for. So if you're in a pawn shop and you happen to find a Patek Philippe, or you happen to find like a really cool Ingersoll that you like, or you happen to find a Rolex or something like that, which you can find in pawn shops, then you want to be sure as you can that you're getting the real deal. So part of that due diligence is going to be on your part. You're going to have to sit down, ask questions at the pawn shops, maybe other watch stores, and of course, a wonderful thing about the time and day that we live in, your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop. Man, it's foggy today on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. Look at this. This Chesapeake Beach here we're going by. Normally I'm down there filming, right? Little Creek is over there, my old base. You can't see crap today. It's a really interesting day here. Foggy as hell here on the Chesapeake Bay, on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. Leaving Virginia Beach. But yeah, do your own research. Go to YouTube on your smart device. Go to YouTube and check out videos about being able to tell replicas or fake watches from the real deal, because as time goes on, as I've already shown you guys on this channel, from the 2 U-boat replicas I have, the 1 quartz U-boat chronograph replica that I have, and the 1 automatic U-boat replica, U1001 replica that I've showed you guys on this channel, as time goes on, they're even more and more convincing replicas. And while replicas are cool, I have nothing against them per se. If you can afford to get the real deal, right? Get the real deal. It is really foggy. This is like pea soup fog. I'm gonna be safe and make sure I'm doing right around 45. So, but anyway, normally it's a better view of this, guys. Normally it's a much more beautiful view. Perhaps on the way back in from the eastern shore, it'll clear up and we'll get a better view of the beautiful Chesapeake Bay. But pawn shops, don't thumb your nose up at pawn shops. They can be great places to find that dream watch that you're looking for. So the next place, guys, that you can find a great deal on a great timepiece is going to be by utilizing apps or applications from the Google Play Store, or Apple, or whatever the case may be. Utilizing different applications to find good deals on real watches, and or if you want a replica watch, on replica watches. For example, 3 of them that I think about are the Wish app, the AliExpress app, and of course the Amazon app. And I'll show you guys in a little bit, once we get into Cape Charles, I'll show you guys a little bit of what I'm talking about, what you can find on those apps. All right, so as I was talking about when we were traveling across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, a couple of the apps that I have are good places to go to find good deals on watches and of course other stuff for that matter as well. But since we are a watch channel, and of course I'm wearing my Stradivari Vintage Pilot 7200 TAC 1 timepiece that I've talked about several times on this channel. It's my daily driver. Let's look at a couple of the apps real quick. I don't know how well the GoPro will be able to see it because of the lighting, but I'm gonna try to make it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, so I got my Brown Dog ice cream. That place right there is like awesome. It's totally awesome. They have good ice cream. You have to order online, so I had to drive out of the main part of Cape Charles to get internet, and I just picked up my order. So they have some really good ice cream. So if you're here in Cape Charles, gotta go check them out. They're pretty cool. Let's go get some ice cream. All right, so if you guys can see my phone, I'm trying to get the light so you guys can see it pretty good. So let's go over here real quick and a couple things I'm talking about. Okay, so this one here, AliExpress is a good place to go. I was looking, and let's skip all of that. A couple of things, and this is just an example of some of the things that I found. The T-Mobile's a little bit slow here in Cape Charles, but you can see what you can find if you look online. Different options. Some of these say they're waterproof, some of them are not. Some of them look like the ones I've reviewed off of Wish, for example. Like that one is similar to one I've talked about, replica I've talked about before in the past. But this goes to show you you can get replicas and possibly, of course, real ones too. Different types of timepieces from AliExpress. All right, let's go back to a more, well, let's go back to another app. Okay, this is OfferUp. Now I don't really use OfferUp much at all. I browse to it, but I don't really, utilize it. But this is another place where you could possibly find what you're looking for. Right, there's shoes, all kinds of stuff in there. You might find what you're looking for as far as timepieces are concerned. I'm not gonna look too much at that because I honestly don't have a lot of experience with this one, but this is an option. Also, let's go look at another app I've talked about. This is, of course, the Wish app. Okay, let's look at that real quick. And of course, remember, when you're looking at the Wish app, you can get like a discount code, ready 60 in this case, this particular day and time of filming this, and you apply it to what you want to get to save you some money. But let's hit this real quick. You can see all kinds of products in there. Let's take a look at what I'm interested in and why we're here. Right, I've reviewed some Liege watches before on this channel. There's some other watches here. Of course, this is Wish, so a lot of stuff is from overseas, from Asia. There's a pretty Asian lady there. A timepiece, Liege makes some decent stuff for the price point. Okay. And remember, with Wish, if you are ordering off of Wish, let's see if I can try to find something that'll show you what I'm talking about. This looks like it's all pretty much overseas stuff, but you can see the variety of timepieces that's available, not just leash, but other timepieces available. Let me put up here, US made. Oh, come on now. Space, come on. No. US made watches. See what comes up real quick. And sorry guys, it's taking so long, but I put that up there. Type in US made watches, and what it'll do is, it don't mean the watches are really made in the US, but what it'll do is it'll direct you to where you can find watch things made in the US. So you see the little US flag there? That means that it's coming from a US location. Now it still may have originated overseas in China or somewhere else, but and plus you can get additional deals. But as you can see, you know, see made in Japan, but if you see the flag, shipping from the United States available, right? You see that flag, usually that means you're going to get a faster shipping. And of course you can hit the faster shipping one, pay a little extra and get even faster shipping. So if you're here in the United States or your country, look for, you know, your country's flag, and that'll help you get it faster. But that's Wish. And of course, last but not least, let's not forget my friends Amazon. So I'm gonna put in here watches. So I'm pretty sure you guys know. And again, we're in Cape Charles, Virginia, so T-Mobile's a little slow here. But you can see what comes up. And what I would do, like if you find something on Amazon, search the other apps I showed you and see if you can find it cheaper, and then evaluate, you know, how long you're willing to wait for it to get to you, all that kind of stuff. Weigh those things and then kind of go from there. Here's a machine. I've reviewed a couple of the machines earlier. I've talked about, but you guys can see that. So I have two of them. My let's just say now ex helped me get them. She offered to get them, so she got them for me. I do appreciate that. I say thank you to her, but she's now another ex, unfortunately, but still thank you to her regardless. But you guys can see, and of course different options available. And those are just some of the apps you guys can use in order to acquire either replica timepieces or real timepieces. So another place I want you guys to think about are places like JCPenney's, for example. JCPenney's, they do carry Invicta, they carry other watch manufacturers as well. Back to my now ex-girlfriend who helped me get, and again, thank you to her, just even though we didn't work out. But thanks to her, it helped me get those two fossil machines I've already reviewed on this channel, and we got those from TJ Maxx. And believe it or not, the day that we went to purchase those two fossil machines, I'll try to remember to leave a link to those videos in the description. When I checked Amazon later on, actually locally at JHLMXGV Shopping Center at TJ Maxx in Norfolk, or I should say back home. We're still in Cape Charles here, still in the 757 or Hampton Roads, but on the Eastern Shore. But back across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel in Norfolk, at TJ Maxx at JHLMXGV Shopping Center, we actually found those two fossil machines. One was $49, I believe it was, and one was $59. And both Fossil machines were actually cheaper in store than they would have been on Amazon. So there are times when you're shopping on Amazon that you actually won't get the best price. Usually you will, in my opinion, when you consider price, and in my case, being a Prime member, you know, getting that product the next day, you know, or even sooner, you know, well, next day or two, you know, depending on shipping and where it's coming from. But well, often Amazon's a really good place to go, and sometimes it really is the best. Places like JCPenney's, TJ Maxx can be great. For those of you further up the Chesapeake Bay, towards Baltimore, Maryland, around a Randall Mills Mall, Maryland Live Casino, because you guys know I do tour buses and some transit stuff too. And I've gotten a couple of Invictas in the past from Randall Mills Malls, from various places there to Randall Mills Mall, that actually had some really good deals on not only Invicta, but I even saw some Bell & Ross. I know we're kind of going high end here, but real Bell & Ross. And I was like, wait a minute, oh, that's really cheap for that Bell & Ross. Still out of my price point, but that's really cheap for that Bell & Ross. So sometimes shopping around a little bit, in addition to shopping online, will provide you with, as much as possible, a really great deal on either a new or replica timepiece, whatever it is you happen to be looking for, or even a used timepiece, back to earlier talking about the pawn shops and stuff like that. So keep those things in mind when you're looking for a really, you know, good, either, you know, used timepiece, new timepiece, or even a new replica timepiece, depending on what your needs are and what your budget is. And so another option that you guys might want to consider for timepieces, usually used, but sometimes we can find new ones there as well, is estate sales. You know, someone, you know, unfortunately passes away, and maybe their heirs don't want their stuff, and they're like, we're going to get rid of it, and they have an estate sale. Or maybe someone owes money because of different types of taxes or other debt, and so in order to resolve that debt, they have estate sales. And you can look in like your local newspapers, and of course with the newspapers, it's like, you know, news stations nowadays having everything online as well. Probably go online and find who's having in your area an estate sale, and go there and not only find watches but other things that you may be looking for. And you could be surprised at what you could find. And for some of you, what you might want to do with the estate sale stuff, you know, in your leisure, is, hey, you find it in an estate sale really cheap, you put it back online somewhere else, you sell it, and you make a little bit of money off of it at the same time. So that's another idea I want to put into your mind, especially as we're all going through the COVID, in order to maybe help you make some more money. Another subject, but back to this subject, a good place to find watches, usually used, but every now and then you'll find a watch brand new. You know, someone unfortunately could have, you know, like I say, passed away, and they just bought a brand new watch and maybe not even opened it yet, and you've got a brand new watch at a fraction of the price. So estate sales are something else I want you guys to think about, not only for acquiring watches, which of course is the main focus of this channel, but other things you may want and desire as well. And hey, you might be able to sell it after you acquire it and make a fast buck. Just a thought. So another place that you may want to also look when you're trying to find new and used, of course, replica watches, Facebook. I know I've never done Facebook, but I've had friends that have done Facebook as far as buying and selling things locally in your area. So browse Facebook as well, and see what you may be able to find, browsing Facebook in your area or amongst your friends and your family. I have looked through the Facebook marketplace for a couple of, you know, different things. I did find some pretty good deals but I chose to go elsewhere to get what I thought was better deals. And again, when you're deciding if something is a good deal or not, I know for me, price is of course most important, but you know, how far will you have to travel in order to acquire it? If you know, of course, shipping costs. How much is it going to cost? Have it shipped to you? You know, when you're dealing with that, is the seller going to pay for the shipping? That kind of stuff. Obviously, it's something, you know, almost like eBay. I've had some bad experiences with eBay, or not so great ones. But a lot of people have good experiences with eBay. That is another place that you could go and possibly find what you're looking for, either new, used, replica, whatever. But again, as I said before in the past, you want to, you know, make sure that you're dealing with someone who's reputable. And in fact, you know, any of these more, I don't want to say shady, but I guess more gray kind of places. And I know gray is used in the watch world in a little bit different context, but related, slightly different, more context, but more gray places, you just want to be sure you're dealing with someone whom is on the up and up as best as you can, and that you are also dealing with someone who knows their stuff, because you know, a very, you know, possible scenario, you're dealing with someone who is trustworthy, but you end up getting something that's a fake or replica because the person selling it doesn't know they have a fake or replica. And so you know, spending all this money, say for a Patek or a Rolex, or you know, something else, you know, like a Bell & Ross, and you think it's real, and the person selling it to you thinks it's real, and then, you know, 6 months later, you know, you're wanting to get something else and trade it in, and you find out at that point that it's not real, it's a fake or replica. So those types of places, you just kind of gotta, again, kind of like the pawn shops, you have to do your due diligence, investigate the person, but also investigate what they're selling, because it could be a totally otherwise honest person who did not know that they were selling you a replica or a fake timepiece. So those places you definitely want to look at, but check them out with, you know, with caution. So I figure I want to add this part to the video as well, just out of caution. Covers my butt too, obviously. So these suggestions I'm giving, you know, I'm not responsible for your results, all that kind of good stuff. Use my suggestions at your own risk, not responsible for them. Sad I have to say that, but it's the world we live in nowadays, to cover my own butt. But that being said, I'm trying to be a good guy. I do also want to caution you guys about this. If you're dealing with stuff, especially online, that you feel is sketchy, then what you should probably do is not use any of your primary debit cards and not use any of your primary credit cards. Instead, I would suggest that you go to a Walmart or to a Walgreens or something like that and get one of those prepaid cards and put some money on that, a little bit. That way, if something happens, you know, you're not dealing with a bunch of problems from your primary credit card providers, or dealing with a bunch of problems from your bank, some a-hole, you know, taking all your money. And as one who has had their a couple of their accounts in the past hacked, if you've never had that happen, I'm telling you it's possible, and it is just the worst feeling when you're trying to take care of business and you've got to wait 3 to 5 days in order for your credit card company, your card issuer, and or your banking or financial institution to straighten things out and put that money that was stolen from you back into your account. So please use caution. If something doesn't look right, feel right, or smell right, don't do the transaction, whether it's online, whether it's in person at a pawn shop, whether you're in a estate sale and you see this like really, I don't know, great Ulysses narrative, right? You get real lucky, you think, right? And you look at it and I'm like, I don't know, that the jewels in the back by the rotor, they don't look right. if you get that feeling, then don't do the transaction. You can save yourself a lot of grief in more ways than one. All right, guys, from Cape Charles, Virginia, on the eastern shore of Virginia, across Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel from Virginia Beach, Atlantic Ocean Watch. If you guys like these types of videos, hit a thumbs up and let me know you want to see more of this type of content. I will have some new watches coming soon to review on this YouTube channel that focuses on affordable timepieces, and I hope this video has helped give you some ideas of places you can go to acquire the types of timepieces that you want at an affordable price. You know, a lot of us have been affected, including myself, by what's going on right now in the world, and hopefully these tips I've given you guys will not only save you money now, but in the future, and will help you think outside of the box a little bit when it comes to sourcing not only timepieces, but other things that you desire in your life as well. Take care, and thank you for watching Atlantic Ocean Watch on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.